Hello, welcome to Cool Bears. Welcome back to another video. It's about time we are here to get to share the important topic of the day. Yes, guys, in this video tonight, we are going to talk about the Enyobeni strategy. We are going to try to people that who went to strike at this tavern and what message do they had to bring to the government, especially to the police. Excuse me, it looked like I'm catching up flu. So these people, when they went to do the strike, they went to the tavern where the things that they mentioned, things which are very serious, which I would like us to discuss this evening, because it is very important that we get to talk about this so that we'll be able to help, especially our young ones, in order for them to do also what is right, and we'll be able to help the government also to do good in whatever they do as an official, so that we can avoid this kind of dramas to happen again in our society in the future. So once again, welcome to Cool Bears. My name is Dopsy, for those who don't know me. And in this channel, what we do is that we do try to we give you our analytics about different topics that it is trending, whether it is in the world of politics or the world of celebrities. So that is what we usually do here. Feel free to subscribe to the channel and give us your thumbs up. I will really do appreciate. And to those who always watch us, guys, thank you so much once again. It's good feelings to have you around. Do as we always do like the video, share if possible. Guys, in tonight's video, I don't want us to talk much. Instead, I just want us to focus on this topic. Yes, we are going to talk about cultural and modern girls. What difference and which one would you prefer to go for after seeing? Because I remember the way this time whereby we used to blame uh, our cultures, judging our cultures on certain behaviors that you can't do or you will have to do because you are a cultural person. But now that in our days, with the new generation, they had forgotten about the culture. They don't apply it in the daily life, in the all activities. They don't apply the cultures. What are the results, and what had really put them to the high point of them even get to risk their own life? So I would like us to discuss that a little bit. But before that, I would also like to go through the breaking news about this Enyobeni strategy. So, um, which I would like to read for you guys so that we can have also an idea of what we'll be discussing on. Enyobeni strategy, survivors share the trauma after East London tavern of death oral. Charging, I don't know why. Let me double check. Okay, I hope it's charging. All right. In your Beni strategy, you've asked the police station, you've asked why the police station was closed that night. Well, as I told you earlier already, that there are some revelation which this youth who went to strike at the police station, they had said in the memorandum, and they had to ask the police why this tavern was closed on the night when these teenagers died in that tavern. So apparently, the police station was closed that night when this strategy took place. I don't know, for the first time to know that be closed, because as far I know, police station don't close. Police station works 24 hours by 24 hours. But here there's allegations which says that um, the police station was closed during that night when these youth were dying at that tavern. Scenery Park residents still confused following Enyobeni strategy. Enyobeni strategy. Owners remove alcohol from tavern under police guards as much expected. Please open the door. Please open the door. Survivor describe night of terror and strategy. Enyobeni Tavern strategy. Scenery Park youth called on Bekitele to bring justice. Help! I'm dying. Men who try to save teenagers from Enyobeni Tavern strategy haunted by victims. Enyobeni Tavern death. Church call on police to provide answers. Guys, please pay attention on what I'm saying because um, these are some of the things that we would like us to talk a little bit. Last time in one of our videos, we had said that we get to see that many people are pointing fingers on some people and leaving other people aside. And one of these people that I was talking about is people like, for example, here in this paragraph, it says that church call on police to give answers. So obviously, they're pointing the police fingers. The police need to provide the answers. The answers about what? Obviously about what had happened. So in this video, we are going to discuss and try to see what the police are supposed to do that they did not do in order for them to be pointed the fingers. It is very important that you keep that in mind. We goes on in your Benny strategy. How did we survive while our friends did not survive? That is another very good question because there were about 300 people in that house. But how did some survive and others did not survive? Of course, I know at first we could not say much about it because we had to leave the police to do the job. Now that the police have closed the investigation, we can now try to give our point of view. How come there were so many people in that tavern and then few die, some survive? How possible is that? We are going to discuss that in this video. Police close investigation into Enyobeni Tavern strategy. All right, guys. So, with all this, would like us to relate of what happened and then how things went for this week at this London tavern where some teenagers died. So after the death, police was still investigating to get to know what happened and everything. Now it happened that on Thursday, the owner of that tavern, the owner of that nightclub, the owner of that bar, decided to go and remove his belonging, which is alcohols. And he did so under the police guidance, kind of like people who feel so hurt for the fact that these teenagers are dying, they had died just in that miserable way. So after the owner had removed alcohols from the tavern, because according to the police, they had took his license away, and they asked him to remove his alcohol. But here, first of all, before I continue, I just want us to think together about this. The police says that they had to took his license. That is my question. Where is he going to sell this alcohol? If they had to allow him to remove it from where it was, now where is he going to sell it? Is that mean that since he have removed this alcohol from Enyobeni, is he going to sell it somewhere else? That's just a question we need to know. Because as far as I know, if you had took your license away and banned this person from not selling alcohol, then you should have also confiscate this alcohol. But they had allowed him to take this alcohol. So now the question is, where will this alcohol be consumed? Who's going to sell it and where That is another things we need to know, because you can't just say that okay, we have take the license from him, and yet you allow him to go and collect his alcohols. Because if he collected the alcohol in such a way, which means he's still going to stay to sell it, because he need money. He needs to get his money back, perhaps with profit as well. So which means he's not going to put that alcohol in his house so that his children and his wife will come and drink it. Instead, you will have to sell this alcohol to other people. Now the police can then be able to tell us, where is this person allowed to go and sell his alcohol since they had took his license away? That's just a question we're leaving to the police. If you have any clarification about it, please tell us in the comment section. Now guys, people, neighbors who were around, after they realized that okay, we're expecting the owner of this bar to be arrested, but here on our surprise we're seeing him coming with two baggies, collecting the alcohol and leave the crime scene under the police guidance. So that also revolt people, especially the youth one. They kind of like taking it now in their hands. They start striking. As they were striking, they first go to the police. And among the questions that they had to ask the police or the government was to say that this person, there are people who die at his place of work. That was the first question that people had to ask. So here guys, I would like to stop a little bit and try to give my analytics about it. Well, sometimes before we get to react on something, we need to make some research. We need to read. We need to understand exactly what is the law saying about this. No one is trying to defend anyone here. No one is trying to protect anyone, especially the owner of that tavern. No one is trying to protect him, but let's just try to be analytics in what we are saying or what we think. People are asking for this man to be arrested. Okay, fine. But can them also tell us why should he be arrested? Do they want him to be arrested all because these teenagers die at his place? Do they want him to be arrested all because these teenagers they were drunk at his place of business? Or do they want him to be arrested because he's the only one who deserves to be blamed out of all this strategy? That is just a question we should try first to think of before pointing finger at each other. Because according to this man, his first version I heard from him, the owner of this tavern, he said that when this scenario took place, he was not even around. He was very far away at his farm until when he received a call saying that there are people who have lost their life. You need to come. And that is how he get there. In our previous video, we had tried to explain also the wrongdoing from the ownership or the owner of the tavern, how he failed to assume his responsibility. But that does not mean that him is the one who committed that crime. That does not also mean that him is the one who had killed these teenagers. So before we point finger at each other, let's try to think first and see the possible way before we get to conclude saying that okay, no, this person is supposed to be arrested. It did not anyone so far. Even if that is the case, remember, is still innocent until being found guilty. So if the police they even let him to come and collect his alcohol, it's because they can check also from their side that okay, actually, whether we like it or not, somewhere somehow this guy is also a victim, because this strategy took place at his tavern. Is in lost as we speaking right now. They had took his license away from him. They had closed his business down. So like he just find himself in loss. And this is what something that anyone who have this kind of business, they should assume, they should be ready to deal with. These are the kind of the business whereby you must know that something will happen soon or later. So you need to be ready to face it. I remember one day I was attending a nightclub though it's not my kind of life. But I had a friend of mine who was celebrating his birthday, and as we were there, we just had some gun, papa. The next things when we come out, they were like, no, no one is not gonna go out. You must stay inside until the police arrive, because the police need to come and make sure that the crime scene was not contaminated. Then we stay in. When we ask what is going on, they had killed 2 people outside, because these people apparently they were following them. And the moment when they find that this is the right time for them to shoot them, they shoot them. But is that mean the owner of the tavern need also to pay for that? That's just a question, because this person, it looked like they were following them for long time ago. So what I'm trying to say by all this is to say that personally I don't agree with the youth who strike. Among the memorandum, they have to say that the owner of the tavern need to be arrested. No, the owner of the tavern had failed to fulfill this um, um, assignment, should I say so, or responsibility, as I said in one of my video that you guys you saw recently, saying that if there's a place where myself I need to blame him, is for the fact that he failed to assume his responsibility as a person, as a professional person who had that license. You should know that if you're having this kind of license, first of all, kids, they're not allowed to be inside the nightclub, especially that young age of 13 to 17. That is out of his professional. He failed. Secondly, he had failed to not protect these children, because if it happened that their parents, their uncle, grandmother, whoever these children were living, they failed to raise these children in a very good manner. They failed to assume also the responsibility as the guidance. From the moment when this kid arrived at that gate or at the door of that tavern, the owner of the tavern is supposed not to allow them in, even if it was not, if he, even if he was not there, but his security guard, they was not supposed to allow these children to go inside the tavern. But for the fact that they had allowed them to go inside the tavern, that it is where they had failed. So if you look, the owner of this tavern is a grown person. It could be a father, a grandfather. So you should have those kind of principle. Even if you are not there, you tell your bodyguard or security guard saying that no one under this age should go inside here. You set such kind of principles, and then you let them be. But unfortunately, he failed when it comes to that. That is something that we should blame him. But saying that he should be arrested, if he have to be arrested, here's what me I think. If they arrest him, they should also arrest each and every parent of this kid. Yes. Secondly, they should also arrest every friend. I'm talking about survivors who were in that night tavern. Everyone was like, no, I was with her. Actually, she's my ex. She's my girlfriend. Now is on my boyfriend. Okay, I'm the one. Actually, they must investigate. How did every child leave the house? Because every child, before they leave the house, they have someone that they trust to tell the truth. Like, no, look, I'll be going this place to celebrate the birthday of my girlfriend. I'll be going this place because my boyfriend invited me. They must go and try to investigate all these people. If they mention the name that, no, before he leave here, his girlfriend, she's the one who had texted him asking him if they can go out. Then they must go and search for that girlfriend. If she's still alive, she must also be arrested. So that is the logic of matters. But if they have to leave, where there's people who had influenced these teenagers for them to go out during that night, whether it is the parents, then they must not also blame or arrest the owner of this tavern. As I said before, the drama is already happened. The strategy, the strategy is already been done. The damage is already been done. And right now, it's not the right time for us to sit and start pointing fingers saying that this one should be arrested and this one must not be arrested and this one must not be doing this and that. It's not going to help. Instead, there's a serious problem. And that is what we are going to discuss in this video. We need to find out the real roots of the problem. Try to solve it out. Try to help these teenagers for us to avoid this kind of scenario in our community. Otherwise, yesterday it was at East London, tomorrow to be in Johannesburg, the next tomorrow to be somewhere in Durban. Perhaps this time we're talking about 21 teenagers. Next time it will be maybe 100. Who knows? Because that there's a problem here. And this kid, is very hard for them to listen. It's very hard for them to listen because they had failed them. They had failed to give them that best education. This kid, they are free to do whatever pleases them. Yes, what comes in the mind is what they do. This kid, they want to expose, to try new things, things that you never done before. Yes, this kid, they do it. I'm gonna give you a very easy example of myself. Very easy. I know this is very personal, but when it comes to this kind of matters, I would like to share this example of myself, and perhaps it will help someone out there. When I say that this kid, they like to try new things, they like to experience things around that you never done before, trust me. Ask yourself a question. When was the first time you know a man or a girl? I'm talking about having sex, for an example. Obviously, look at your age, look at the age where these teenagers are losing their virginity. Then I believe you'll have an answer to that. I myself, I get to know a woman for the first time in my life when I was 22 years. I was going closer to 23 years, and then I remember I used to date this other girl. We dated like for 3 years. And these 3 years, I never even touch her. I never even see a body. Okay? And what even moved me to go and try to experience this, because I let myself be influenced by friends who were like, no, okay, you like this girl, okay, so fine, since you like her, but she don't want you guys to do it. Okay, what about if you try something else? Go and find another girlfriend, but keep her, you know, and go and find another side girlfriend. Try, because you're a man, you know, at your age you never try. What if you're not functioning properly? What if work is not working, you know? So you need to go and try something. You know, under that fear, under that influence, I had to go and try all those things. And at that age, obviously it's very, 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 very like a big age, you know. But kids in our days, what they do. Recently, at my work of place, there's this other boy. This boy is only 27 years old, but he's already have 10 children. I'm saying very well, 27 years old, he's already have 10 children. Now, the question to know is this 10 children coming from one mother? Is he married or no? Obviously, the answer is that none of this. He was not married. These kids are not coming from the same woman. They come from different. Every child have his own mother. All of them. And you should see how proud this boy is. So excited. And he even told me, he's like, bro, you know, actually my vision is I want by the time when I'll be 45, I must have minimum 50 children. Okay, that obviously it is a personal choice. We all know the number of children that would have. Are you doing it in the proper way, or are you doing it in the bad way? You know, and if you really love this your children, the way you are living your life, do you think you are setting a fine example for them or not? That's another question. So obviously, you can now understand why I said these new generations, they love trying things. Since they have access to their phones, since they can Google whatever they want to do, they know everything. Is it about position? Is it about what next? All those crazy things, they know. And when they come home, they will give you that innocent look. That is where I said it is now the responsibility of parent and society and the government to help out on how to deal with this kind of kids, because this kid, they had forgot about the culture. The culture is no longer in their mind. They don't think about it. They can study at school about culture, maybe they can heard from their grandmother, grandfather, but yet applying it, that is another thing. At first, they'll blame the cultural girls that they are very boring, they can't do this, they can't do that. But seeing what is happening now in our days, obviously I began to understand that the culture was more better because it was saving a lot of families out there. It was saving the whole generation. Yes. Because when you are a cultural person, a boy or a girl, you know what to do and what you must not to do without anyone forcing you. Where you are confused, where you don't get it properly, you go back home, perhaps to your grandfather or your grandmother, to sit down with them and ask them serious questions. Okay, Granny, I'm seeing this. Okay, Granny, what am I supposed to do when this happen? They help you out. But this kid today, they don't even think about it. Actually, they don't even listen. Some of these kids, they have their grandfathers and grandmothers, but they never get a chance to go to them and sit down and ask them about life. Ask them about, grandfather, how were you? How do you used to be when you were at my age? What kind of lifestyle were you living? When was the first time you get to know a woman? When was the first time you get to know a man? What kind of duty were you living at your age? When you were at my age, I mean to say. Those kind of questions, they don't apply it. Instead, all they know is about posting, taking half pictures and putting that on the social medias, doing all those cross things. If you want to talk, they will tell you that no, I'm living my life. Now, living your life at the same time putting it at the danger, which means you don't love yourself. If you love yourself, you know what to do. If you love yourself, you do what is right for yourself. If you love yourself, you consider your life, your future, and you'll take it more serious. Serious in everything you do. Whenever you are with your friends, whenever you frequent your partner, you get to know that your life have meaning. Because your life can become meaningless if you don't do what is right. And there are some mistakes that you can't do in your life. This mistake can be made by your parent, but not by you. By your parent, how? Because maybe they did not get a chance to help you out or to tell you about good and bad about life. Maybe they used to spoil you too much. Instead of telling you the real truth, the real problem that you'll be facing as challenge in this life. But they make it look more easy for you, forgetting that life is too short and things can happen to them. What's the normal life? What kind of person will you be? Because once you lack of that basic education, that foundation of education that every child should have get from the parents, then your life will become meaningless. You no more gonna be responsible in what you are doing. You become like a puppet of a fake people who don't value their own life. Those are the people who you'll be always find yourself being surrounded by them. And whatever they said is what you are going to apply. So now, these youth, they went to the police, they said, the owner of the tavern should be arrested. Which I explained that no, if they have to arrest him, then they should have also to arrest everyone who's supposed to have the responsibility of these children. I doubt that will never happen. Among the youth that were talking, I come across one of them. He was a boy who says that if this kid they went out is because the government had not built enough public space, I mean places where this kid they can go and chill. For an example, like having more parks around, having what. He mentioned a lot of things like a library and what. All these things are not in that community. So this kid, at the same time, they want to chill. So since they don't have any place to go and chill, they decide to go to the tavern to drink alcohol. Wow. Well, I'll say that sounds very good, but at the same time, he forgot something inside there. At the same time, it sounds like encouraging this new generation or these teenagers to be going out just because, I mean, to be going out to the nightclubs, all just because the government had failed from its part to build public space like a libraries, parks, and other different places that people can go and entertain themselves. Because I don't see why you should even think like that. Here we're talking first. My only problem that I'm having is that we're talking about the personal educations. We're talking about you doing things with your own conscience. In whatever you take as a decision, you have to see how your life is going to benefit from it and where your life is not going to benefit from it. You can't just be doing things because you have some people who come and influence you, or because maybe there's no something, you are bored home and you need to go and chill out since there's no public place, then you decide to go and chill at a nightclub at the age of 13 years old. That is not something you should try to even to defend. Yes, 13 years old, 17 years old, what are you doing out? Because that's what I asked you guys recently, like what were them doing out at that time? Because that time is the way you're supposed to be in your parent house, whether you are sleeping or not, whether you are watching TV or not, but you must be at your house, not out. But here what we see, these kids that are out busy there kissing their boyfriends, all of them at the young age. So they're trying to apply or to practice something which was made for old people, something which was made for their own parents. So here, guys, we must not speak with words in our mouth. Let us speak the truth. This kid mess a big time. Yes. Stop pointing finger around. Oh no, the one of the tavern. Oh no, the police, they fail this and that. Oh no, this and that. Okay, where are you leaving all these people? All these people who were chilling with them? Because among here we're talking about 13 to 17 years old. But among them, I strongly believe that there were other people as well. There were other people who were older than them. They could see it. What did they do? Nothing. So guys, I think it's about time to teach our children about our cultures, to teach our children about Bible, which is a Korah or whatsoever, some principles which they'll have to have it in the mind, in the head, that every time, whenever they decide to do something, they must keep it in the mind, like, okay, no, this one is not going to do me good, this one is not going to benefit me, this one is not fine for me. That is how we should do it. That is how we need to have to help these children out, so that this kind of mistake they don't do it again next time. Because the fact that they're ignoring the cultures, The fact that they want to do things the way it pleases them to do it, that is what is put it continue putting them in very big danger. Some kid, they had to find themselves dating men who are old enough to be their fathers because you have failed home to do your part as a parent. Because if you do your part, I don't believe that this child will just go out there and misbehave in a very bad way. Blaming a teacher at this time is not going to help us anyway. But instead, we need just to help those who are still here, telling them that, look, what happened here? Imagine if you are among them, you could be one of them. Do you want to die? Obviously, that question, if you ask it any child, they'll tell you, no, I don't want to die. So, okay, fine. Since you don't want to die, then this is what you need to do. And they'll listen to you. Of course, also a bit of discipline. Yes, a bit of discipline. The government, they must allow also the parent to assume the responsibility to discipline the children in their loving ways. And not these things of like you try to you have not even touched the child, you just shout at them. The abuse telling that I'm gonna call the police on you. What is the meaning of that? Anyway, guys, that's what I wanted to discuss with you today. So I hope you have learned and benefit something from this video. It is very important that we need to help our young ones. It's up to you as a parent. It is up to you as a child, a teenager, to decide what kind of life you want to live. Do you want to live like a modern girls, or do you want to live like a cultural person? Because whether we like it or not, cultures does protect us in a lot of things. Yes, you might find culture girls back in days, they will be living a life like you ask yourself, oh, why, but at the same time they were well educated. You can even see a girl exposing all part of her bodies, but yet she's well educated. She live a life in a very decent ways, and not this hypocrite of teenagers that we are seeing all over. Go on social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Go and check what they're doing there. Go and check what they're doing there. They always mess. They do mistake in everything that they do. Some of them you'll see they'll go out with boys. They got fucked. They do all those crazy things. They will tell you that they were not having conscience. No, they had their conscience. Busy taking videos, filming each other. The next thing, when these boys goes out and publish these videos on social media, oh no, I feel like just living this world. They want to do something crazy to their own life, all just because they got exposed by the person they thought that he loved them or she loved them. But when you were doing all these kind of mistakes, didn't you know that it was gonna catch you sooner or later? So it is very pity to be seeing this kind of behaviors among the youth one. It's very pity to be experiencing this kind of death among teenagers because they had a bright future ahead of them. Among them would have big officers, people who will have saved this country tomorrow in a very honest way. But just because they had failed to have that thing, yes, that thing, I call it a buzzed education, or in other words, should I say, a foundation. Yes, because every child need to have a foundation education, which they have to receive from the parent from the beginning, whereby you as a parent, you sit yourself and you say, look, you are allowed to do this, you are not allowed to do that. Whether you are around or not, your child should know already that I'm not allowed to do this. If I try this, I'll be in trouble. But unfortunately, some parents, they fail to do that. And at the end of the day, you come trying to start blaming people now of what had happened to your child. No, that's not good. I think we can do things in a very right way to avoid all these kind of things. So guys, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed to the channel. Like the videos, I really do appreciate. My name is Dopsy for those who just join us again. I will see you again very soon. But for now, continue to be yourself. Have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. Yes. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.